Hello YouTube, I'm back with another video and this one is going to be a little different. It is nursing related and I feel like I haven't done a nursing related video in so long. I've just been really busy with nursing school and yeah, so I thought it would be very appropriate to make this video right about now. So I'm almost done nursing school, I have one semester left and I wanted to make a video on the stuff that nobody really warns you about or tells you about before you go into nursing school. So this is going to be the not so good parts of nursing school, and unfortunately I've noticed that there is a lot of them. I do enjoy being in nursing school for the most part. I do want to graduate, but I wish somebody would tell me some of these things in advance so that I can mentally prepare myself for a lot of it and maybe plan my life a little bit better beforehand. So keep watching if you want to find out all of the things that nobody talks about in nursing school. Let's get right into it. So we're going to start with things that are schoolwork related. Now, as I said before, I'm in an accelerated nursing program, but I'm pretty sure most nursing schools run the same way, and even if it's a regular nursing program, it's the same way. So the schoolwork that you do in nursing school is a lot of group work. If you don't like group work, you're kind of screwed because mostly everything is group work and group projects, and especially if you are not on campus or like not in your university town. I'm not sure how programs are going to do it now because I did mine in a pandemic, but you have to do a lot of group work and it requires collaboration with each other. So doing it online sometimes is really hard. And yeah, there's just group project after group project after group project, and if somebody in your group doesn't pull their weight or your presentation ends up being really bad because of one person, then the rest of the group suffers because that one person didn't do well. It's usually just 1 mark for the entire group. So that's something that if you don't like, there's really nothing that you can do about it except just do your best, because there is a lot of group projects, a lot. The next thing that I'm doing a lot of lately is reflections. And I understand reflections are so that you can look at your mistakes and then think about how you can fix them, and it's all about personal growth and stuff like that. And being a nurse, apparently it's important that you can reflect on your own practice and stuff, but there are a lot of reflections, especially now that I'm in my pre-consult, almost my consultation. There's just every week is a reflection, and I just like I'm stressed. I'm working full-time at my clinical and I don't have time to sit down and write an entire page reflection on what went well this week, what didn't go well this week. Like to me, I don't have the energy to do that right now. So there's a lot of reflections. If you're good at that, if you like that, that's great. But personally, I never liked writing about myself. I like to take a journal article or something, new discovery, science, something, and then write a paper on it and do research. I love to do that. I just writing about myself, my feelings. I just not good at it, don't like it. So yeah, that's reflections. You're gonna be doing a lot of them, so prepare for that, I guess. And the last thing about the actual content that I wish somebody would have told me about was the amount of nursing theory classes that you have to take. So a nursing theory class is basically, I would classify it as like a social science kind of class. So it takes a lot of theories that people have created and talks about them and applies them to practice in nursing. So I don't even know if I remember them now, but like change theories, like relational inquiry and lenses and theoretical perspectives and stuff like that. Usually you learn a theory and then you learn how you can implement it as a nurse. It just, for something like nursing, it seems very, not abstract, it just seems very like, not important. It just seems very redundant and maybe not the best use of your time, because in nursing school you're learning a lot of stuff at once. And like I said in my previous video, I had 1 pharmacology class and I had 1 pathophysiology class, yet every single semester I had a nursing theory class. So like, I understand that we're supposed to learn that aspect of it, but the fact that I know more about nursing theories than maybe pathophysiology or pharmacology, I don't think that's right. And like I said in my previous video, what's gonna help me when my patient is dying? My relational lens knowledge or my pharmacology and pathophysiology knowledge, you know? So yeah, I just wasn't overly thrilled about the theory classes. It's weird because you get a Bachelor of Science in nursing, and so it is like a science-based degree, yet you're doing so much social science kind of stuff and like humanities kind of stuff, and like I didn't know that there'd be so much of that. So moving on next to the NARs. So I don't know if it's just my school that calls them this or if every school does, but the NARs stand for non-academic requirements. And basically, because you have your clinical placement, you have to do these every single semester. So you need your CPR updated like every single year. You need a TB test done. You need the 2-step and the 1-step. You need to do a mask fitting test. You need to do your annual flu shots, COVID vaccines, obviously, criminal record check you also have to get every year, and all of these things are A, expensive because you have to pay for them, and B, trying to do them every single year and like trying to also figure out your classes and do everything else on top of it, and having your school email you a million times, oh, your NARs are expiring, oh, you have to update them right now, or you can't go to clinical. Like, it's a little bit stressful on top of everything else that you are already stressed about in nursing school. So the NARs, I understand why they're necessary 110%, but like it was just a lot of added extra stress on top of everything else I was doing in nursing school. And I don't know if other schools are doing this, but at my school, for our NARs, to get them accepted by the school, we had to upload all the documents into some third-party website called Synergy. And every time somebody checked our documents, which we had to do, I think, every year to update them, we have to pay this website $52 to look at all of our documents and certificates and whatever, and say, oh yeah, you're good, or no, you failed. So that was just another expense that I really didn't prepare for, on top of having to pay for like an updated CPR, and like I think criminal record checks are also $50. So it all kind of adds up after a while, and it just seems so like never ending with the costs and little things here and there that you have to remember and stay on top of and pay for, and like it was very overwhelming. And speaking of things that you have to pay for that are expensive, well, obviously tuition is expensive, like that's a given. But when you do your clinical placement, especially at the end of your degree, you're working full-time at the hospital or whatever placement that you have. So when you're working full-time, you're working 12-hour shifts, which are definitely a lot to get used to when you're not used to working for that long. And a lot of schools will tell you that you shouldn't have a part-time job, or you shouldn't work more than a certain amount of hours at your other job, because they don't want to put you at risk for burnout or medication errors or making any mistakes. Now, I understand that, but it's also just hard when it's 2022 and everything is so expensive. Like, a lot of us have families, mortgages, rents, like students are broke. And for us to not really be able to work is extremely, extremely stressful. Very stressful. Like, I just moved to Toronto not too long ago, and Toronto is like one of the most expensive cities in Canada, and not being really able to work a part-time job is very stressful. Like, unless you have somebody helping you out with payments and money and stuff, or you have money saved, which I did not have any money saved, it is extremely stressful to pay for everything. So, okay, so even if you do decide to have a part-time job while you're working in a hospital, what's hard is that you follow your preceptor's schedule. So usually a lot of hospitals do, their rotations are like all over the place, I would say, at least. Like, you do 3 days on, 3 days off, 2 nights on, 2 nights off, like that. So you can't just tell your work like, oh, I can work every Monday, because chances are you'll be working every second Monday or every third. So like, it's really hard to have a job. So yeah, it's just really hard to have a job while you're working full-time at your clinical. And I'm feeling frustrated with it because I just don't have really any income, and I am still working full-time. So it's like, not that I have nothing to show for it, but it just feels a little bit frustrating. And then tuition is the exact same amount as if I were to be taking 5 classes, even though nobody's really teaching me right now because I'm at my hospital. So yeah, all right, so added on to working full-time for free at your clinical placement, the real kicker is having to pay for parking at the hospital that you're doing your free labor at. I don't know why they don't just give students a pass to park at, because we're literally paying money to be there to work for free. But the hospitals that I've done my placements at, I've had to pay for parking every month, and it's like $130 to park there. And I just like, I can't believe there's no way that they can like subsidize it for students, or there's no student rate. So a lot of hospitals might have a student rate, but the ones I've done mine at didn't. So yeah, so that's another expense that I really wasn't prepared for when it comes to nursing school. Now, this one really isn't that big of a deal, but another thing with nursing school is that they're really strict about having no nail polish or artificial nails. So if you're somebody who likes to wear fake nails or like nail polish, then get ready to never have your nails done, because they will not let you into lab if you have your nails done. So that kind of sucks. And last but not least, I also didn't like the fact that we had to wear the school scrubs during our clinical placement. They're not good quality, they're not very flattering, just wasn't a fan of them, they were expensive, just another thing of nursing school that I didn't like. But usually in your console or your pre-console, if you ask to wear like regular scrubs, then usually that's okay with your preceptor. But my school had like white scrubs. I don't really know why they thought white was a good idea, but yeah, had white scrubs and they weren't very nice. Okay, so that is my video on the stuff that nobody really tells you about nursing school. I hope I didn't deter you from nursing school too much. I mean, I'm very excited still to be a nurse. nursing school just has been very taxing on my mental health and my bank account. But like I said, you'll get through it and it will be worth it in the end, I hope. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment below and I will get back to you. And if you like this video, please give it a like or a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching.